Hello and welcome back to International Journeyman here with Brazil. It's fair to say our time here in South America has been extremely successful with victory in both the Copa America and Olympic Games, and today we'll be looking to continue this with the greatest prize of all, the World Cup hosted in Spain. Now our squad has, I think, peaked, so I think victory is unlikely, but you obviously never know. Either way, this will likely be our final act as Brazil boss, as with the Euros still on the to-do list, I feel we will be better served at one of the top European teams going forwards. But can we sign off with the ultimate bang? Now, I've said all that, but we haven't actually qualified for the World Cup yet. We topped the group with a 100% record after the pre-Copa America set of qualifiers, and you'd have to say it'll be embarrassing not to from here. In fact, if I could just fully tempt fate here, we actually haven't lost a single game with Brazil so far, and our only draw was the Copa America final, which we won on penalties anyway. Guaranteed a group stage exit there, haven't I? Anyway, we restart qualification against Bolivia, and it's a simple 4-0 win, before we also put 4 past Paraguay a few days later. In October we beat Venezuela, and then we continue our domination of Argentina with a 1-0 win. In November, another 4-0 win against Peru takes us closer, and then we finally don't win a game as we are somehow held to a 0-0 draw with Chile despite getting over a 4 for XG. But we quickly brush off that very minor disappointment, as that result means we secure qualification with 6 games left and a full 19 months before the World Cup starts, which is absurd. In March we beat Colombia and Ecuador to maintain our unbeaten campaign, and then in May we get the unexpected treat of the Continental Super Cup thing against Ukraine. I mean, I say treat, but for some reason you can only have 5 subs on the bench, and following 2 injuries we end up with 10 men and Douglas Luiz at right back. As a result, Ukraine absolutely wreck us for our first defeat as Brazil boss. Thankfully, this trophy is not on the list. We end the qualification campaign with wins over Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia and Venezuela, 52 points out of a possible 54. Not bad. What is bad is that we get Ukraine in our World Cup group. I mean, what are the odds? China are the other team. Oh, and then Slovenia then randomly offer me the job. That's the weirdest one yet. We finally reach the year of the World Cup, and we beat the OGs Australia in a March friendly. When we finally get to squad naming day, there are changes to what we had at the Copa America, but nothing crazy. Goalkeepers are unchanged, although Alisson is literally retiring from football after the tournament. Defence is the same save for Olympic veteran Leonardo coming in. Midfield sees the biggest changes as mainstays Fabinho and Lucas Paqueta go out, and regens Eduardo Prado and Rodrigo Machado come in. The forward areas keep the same players, but I bring in Angelo and Marcus Leonardo as we have the 3 extra squad places. João Gomez gets to come as well. We head to Spain in high spirits, but with middling expectations. The Brazilian FA expect a semi-final, which I think is doable. I may be leaving, but I would prefer to do it on my own terms than thanks to the sack. We beat Croatia in our last warm-up game. We begin the group against Ukraine, so some early revenge would be a great start to the campaign and would essentially qualify us for the knockouts. Here is the team. A seasoned defence with Alisson, Lodi, Gabriel, Militao and Vanderson, Prado, Guimaraes and Dude in midfield, with Vinicius Jr., Endrick and Jesus up front. 15 minutes in, Guimaraes drives forwards with no issue, lays it off to Vanderson, who clips it forward for Endrick, and the main man's take, touch and finish are superb, 1-0. Just before the break he sends a corner in and Gabriel makes it 2. In the second half we completely dominate but can't find a third despite some excellent football. That is until a few minutes to go when a slick move allows Guimaraes to rifle home. Looks like some effective revenge and a perfect start to me. Given the way this stupid new format works, even if we somehow lose to China, I think we'll still go through, and given we should be beating them, I will take the opportunity to fully rotate here. And yeah, rightly so. 2-0 and extremely straightforward with goals from both Marcuses. We win the group at a canter. A few notable casualties here. Senegal and South Korea are the biggest two, as well as Australia. We get Haiti in round 2. I mean, you would think this will be somewhat of a mismatch. In any event, I restore the first choice lineup. It takes 25 minutes for us to do anything, but when we do, Endrick gets the ball on the right and under no pressure just drifts inside and shoots, only to see his effort ricochet off a defender to Vinicius Jr., who heads us in front. Prado then sends it forward to Dude, who smashes home a beautiful second. In the second half, our domination continues. Gabriel Jesus crossing from the right to Vinicius Jr., who again has far too much time to cut inside and fire home a third. We aren't especially clinical because it could have been at least 6, but really that was never in doubt. The altogether tougher test of Portugal greets us in the third round in just 4 days. Mexico are the only major exit at this round, meaning we'll be joined by all of the major contenders. There are some big results early on in the third round though, as the hosts are dumped out by the holders while Turkey send Holland packing. England see off Argentina while Italy dispense with Croatia. Our former side lose to France again at an earlier stage than last time before it's our turn. This is tough. As ever, fitness is not perfect, but I think we just have to accept that at this point. No changes for this Portuguese language derby. The first real chance goes their way as Dude's pass is poor and it's punted forward for Rafael Leao, who runs clean through, but Alisson stands strong. Our best chance is this snapshot from Dude. 0-0 at the break, and quite tense I would say. It's very even, but Leao looks dangerous, firing over. But in the 70th minute, we pick the ball up and Guimaraes plays a perfect pass forwards for sub Marcus Leonardo, who just runs in a straight line and calmly fires past Costa. Rafinha then hits the post and Portugal pour forwards for an equaliser. They get a corner and Leao heads millimeters wide, and that's it. We win thanks to one piece of real quality and pass a huge test to reach the quarterfinals. We'll face Belgium there after they beat Colombia. Germany beat Denmark to take the final spot in the last 8, which will see 6 former winners contend for the title. No one more successful than us, of course. And it's one of the 2 who haven't won it who stun Italy. Turkey making the semi-finals as they did 28 years before. England also go through at the expense of Norway. France beat Germany to reach yet another semi-final, and then it's our turn. Fitness has recovered quite well, obviously no changes. They still have a 37-year-old Romelu Lukaku up front. Is that good or bad? A brutal early move sets the tone, with Vinicius Jr. seeing his efforts stopped. It's a sign of things to come as 18 minutes in, Guimaraes finds him in acres of space, he cuts in and fires past the keeper's near post and into the opposite side of the net. A stunning goal. We look good value for the win, and in the second half the excellent Vanderson sends Jesus away to chip the keeper and somehow see his effort cleared off the line. Vinicius Jr. then fires over and Gabriel hits the post. We press on for what would surely be the match sealing second, and obviously as we do, Belgium counter, cutting through our defence, and Ramanzani equalises. Of course. It doesn't feel fair, but that's football. In injury time, Marcus Leonardo misses a sitter. In extra time, nothing happens except Douglas Luiz hitting the post. Is this not going to be our day? If it is, it'll have to be on penalties. How have we not won this? Somebody give Alisson the Weetabix. Tielemans steps up first, and Alisson saves. An exhausted Endrick has been kept on for this, and he makes it count. Their goal scorer Ramanzani is then denied by Alisson as well. Weetabix working its magic once more. Rodrigo sees his go in off the post, and the rest are all then scored. So, just as 2 years ago in the Copa America final, Eder Militao steps up with the chance to win it, and he does again. Phew, dramatic, deserved, dangerously exhausting. We'll see. We get Turkey in a repeat of 2002. We know how that one ended. England go and flatten France 4-0 in the most un-England knockout victory ever. Can we join them? Fitness is passable, though Gabriel is suspended. I opt for Bremer's experience over Leonardo. No other changes against this tournament's surprise packages. We look to make a fast start, and an early move sees Dude square it for Jesus, whose effort is stopped, but as he tries to get to the rebound, he's hacked down for a penalty. Endrick steps up and dispatches it expertly. From a corner 10 minutes later, Prado gets it off Dude, turns and unleashes a wonderful strike which goes in off the crossbar. Lovely stuff. In the second half, a super slick move sees Vinicius Jr. sky it as we proceed to do that waste a hatful of chances thing again. Luckily, however, Turkey offer absolutely nothing as we coast home and into the World Cup final, or the conflict of interest final you might say. I really did not expect to get this far, but it's a testament to the quality and spirit of these players. If we could actually manage to win it, to tick this one off, it would be incredible. And of course we have to beat my home nation if we want to do it. I'd be the most hated man in the country, even more than Piers Morgan. I'll take the risk. As good as we've been, it's undeniable that Gabriel Jesus has been awful individually, but his movement has still been really effective at helping other people. So aside from restoring Gabriel, I keep the same team. I don't really think we'll win this, but I hope we do. Their team looks intense though. In a frenetic opening, a lovely move sees Vinicius Jr. test Ramsdale before Kane fires over. Militao then hits the post before Sancho blazes over. The very definition of end to end. But after the restart we lose it and Rice clips it over our whole defence for Reece James to waltz through and slide it past Alisson. As we strive for an equaliser, we lose it and England cut through us. The ball bounces off Prado, allowing Dane Scarlett to make it 2. I ring the changes to try and get us back into it, and we string some passes together and Marcus Leonardo scores, except he's offside. I think I know how this ends. Militao wastes a prime free kick and then we give away a penalty. Rashford's effort is abysmal, but we look as exhausted as England look buoyant and we lose it once again, allowing Rashford to get his goal after all. England win to end 64 years of hurt. And you can't say they didn't deserve it. As a fan, I'm thrilled. As the guy doing this save, I'm not. We deserved a goal at least. You can't win them all, but that definitely would have been nice to do. The England manager, by the way, is the guy who won the Euros with Ukraine, just out here doing his own international journeyman challenge. Nevertheless, to tick off 2 things with Brazil has been pretty great, and it was a great run which the Brazilian public and FA loved, and actually the closest they've come to winning the World Cup since 2002. But I think it's time for a new challenge. We need to win the Euros, so it makes more sense to go to Europe to try and win that, and then the World Cup with a European team. Guimaraes and Gabriel are our team of the tournament inclusions, and a disappointingly small selection of jobs. Spain and Portugal are the only big European ones, and Ukraine, but their squad is not as good. They both put in offers, so we are heading to Iberia. Portugal are intriguing, but Spain have Gavi and Pedri, who are both entering their peak, and they have some solid looking regens. I think we're going to park our Portuguese and take a crash course in Spanish. They're similar, right? We are heading to Madrid. I mean, we're actually already here because of the World Cup, so we're staying in Madrid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.